But I wanted to say that one of the things that we've been doing over the past, I guess this will be the third year, yeah. We're doing what's called the Emily Marcus Award, and let me see if I can find it. There it is. And this is an opportunity for us to recognize a specific person or persons whom we feel have been above and beyond the call of LifeRing and what is generally expected of human beings. And that person this year, and I'll share that in a second, is so worthy and so known by all of us. It's embarrassing that it's taken 3 years to get this. But this is in honor of a LifeRing convener, community advocate, and a previous board member named Emily Marcus. She passed away at a young age. She was a wonderful part of LifeRing. I unfortunately never had a chance to meet with her, but she is she was an amazing person from what I hear, and she bequeathed us some money in her will, and we had taken that and put a stipend of it to making some pins and some appreciation so that her legacy continues. And John was going to lead this. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. John, let me see. Make you host. You're already there. And ta-da! Our this year's award winner is
Right on. I have a little prepared speech that I just lost on my screen, so bear with me just a second.
Well, I'll read this while you're doing that. The Outstanding Commitment Award recognizes a person who went above and beyond expectations to bring support to those in need. In recognition of unwavering efforts to manage what is possibly the hardest and least lauded LifeRing service, online meeting attendance verification. And I have seen this so many times in writing, I had to use it as a quote. Did you check your spam or trash folders?
Um, so I met Melly in 2014, and she was introduced as our gracious member down under who was tracking meeting verifications for all our virtual meeting platforms. And this was back in the era of free conference call, live and asynchronous chat meetings, Skype, a couple other platforms I'm told might still exist. Every convener had their own processes and policies in providing verification. Some are using like a self-service model, while others made obtaining a verification an epic quest. It was really frustrating for everyone, and it became really clear that we needed to standardize a policy and process around this. So Melly surveyed our online conveners and distilled a list of their advice and provisioning practices. And based on that, I was able to work with her to kind of Frankenstein a verification policy that would work for each of the disparate formats. And I set up the initial Google form to centralize the requests. And then Melly from there took those to the online conveners who, much to my surprise, miraculously welcomed the change. And Melly, now armed with the more automated and standardized set of tools, expanded her capacity and became kind of the behind the scenes hero we know today. Around that time, Emily Marcus joined our board and brought that same inquisitive nature and candor to the board in her efforts to analyze and develop our communications and policies around those. And as a kindred spirit, I cannot think of any member more deserving of the Emily Marcus Award than Melly. She demonstrates what we mean when we talk about giving back. And she's consistently and almost thanklessly supported an unimaginable number of members, many of whom are on the call today in meeting that initial requirement of accountability in early recovery that most of us have long forgotten. And I'm excited to share the announcement with her as this year's sole recipient for the award. And I'd love it if you would join me in congratulating Melly by sharing your virtual applause. Click that react button down at the bottom of your screen. Send Melly some Zoom hearts, noisemakers, rockets, or whatever else you'd like to use. Thank you, Melly. We super, 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 super appreciate you.
You're muted,
Um,
Sue.
Thank you,
muted.
John. I'm going to learn how to use that button shortly. I'm just not used to muting myself. Thank you. I wanted to ask a few folk if they would like to say something for Melly. We're going to take this, clip it, give it to Melly. So, Robert, would you like to share a little bit about
Yeah.
your history with Melly?
Being executive director from 2012 to when Sue took over in 2020. I don't know when you came on, but anyway, I had the opportunity to talk to Melly mainly by email. There was one epic Skype call. She is extremely elusive. And short of going to visit her in Australia, it is an interesting experience when trying to communicate with her. And she's almost 12 hours, it was a strange time we had to get together. But anyway, I did talk to her. This was back in 2012, 2013. And we were going through the process of figuring out actually the online chat because we were having difficulties. We were using a Chinese firm for online chat before uh, this is text chat before we switched to Adobe Connect in the last 5 years. But anyway, it was an interesting experience trying to figure out all the logistics involved and all the mechanics, stuff like that. But that was my experience with her over the years. Um, Craig, he's here. I think he had earlier experiences with her, but there was a whole big thing about chat, and it blew up in 2010, 2011, that it was not being used properly. And anyway, that was resolved, and we went forth from there. Now we're actually text chat is on Zoom, so we're not even using Adobe Connect anymore. But that's just my experience with her. I saw pictures of her. Well, I on the Zoom chat, obviously, I did talk to her. She reminds me of a motorcycle gal, but I don't know.
A motorcycle, a Triumph. Thank you, Robert, for that image. I'll be sure to share that with her. Byron, would you like to say a little bit? I know that I actually met you on chat, the Adobe chat that Melly had set up.
Yeah, thank you. Robert and or John may need to correct me, but yeah, I discovered Melly early on in the old chat rooms. And my recollection is that she coordinated the whole thing at that point before taking on the verification process.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, yeah. And in that capacity, I always had the impression she was just extraordinary. I boy, I can't say enough good about the skill she used in wrestling all the conveners and coordinating, keeping everybody calm down. It was somewhat chaotic in the early days, to say the least. Uh, and Melly did just an extraordinary job of coordinating it and keeping it somewhat calm. I think I already said this, but I can't think of a more deserving candidate for this award. She's very special.
Thank you for that, Byron. I agree. Is there anyone else who would like to share about their experiences with Melly beside our just undying gratitude for not having to do verifications ourselves? Laura.
I just wanted to say I've got my hands full with the in-person meetings that I do, but I've been around LifeRing almost from its beginning, and I keep hearing Melly, and what she does. And I'm just very impressed. Her legacy precedes her, even though I'm not too active with the online. And to have somebody in the organization like that um, is a pleasure. And someday I do look forward to maybe meeting her somewhere at some point. Um, but yeah, it stretches beyond just those in the online community, I've become very aware of how important she is to the organization. So I just want to send my congratulations to her. Thanks.
That's awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Anybody else wanted to, yeah, Anne. Okay, you're muted.
Okay. I just wanted to, throw in with everybody saying just what a wonderful job she does, and just share the fact that she really, really, really went, totally above and beyond for me. I had a conundrum that was all of my own making. I came to LifeRing. I became so active, and I needed to get the verifications, but I sort of dropped off at a certain point, coinciding with a vacation last year. And anyhow, I wasn't listed yet for the liver list. And because I was going to just so many and had demonstrated, and my doctors knew all about it and everything. And I thought, I don't think this is probably so much of a big deal. It came down to so that's, clearly just lazy thinking. It came down to the appointment where I was going to be listed, and I did need to produce as best I could whatever I'd been doing. And she worked with me, and she did a special effort for me. And she went back and combed the logs, and she produced me like a summed up file, and it was just brilliant. I mean, she even said, I think there's this one, but maybe it wasn't quite the amount of time. I mean, she really was on my side, and she did that whole thing. And she said, just it would be nice if you just would make a little bit of an effort to do them on time if you still need them. And I said, of course. And so I have done, but I mean, she was extraordinarily supportive to just making sure that, all of my meetings were reflected, because I've been going to so many that I thought, well, they'll know, you got to take these things seriously. So I'm deeply, deeply grateful to her. So thanks, Melly.
That's a great story, and thank you for sharing that. Robert.
Yeah, a little history about LifeRing. I skipped over Brian. Byron, he was executive director in 2018, 2017, something like that.
I bet he'd be able to answer that.
Yes. And Kathleen from Colorado, and Craig. Kathleen was 20 after Marty left in 2010. She was executive director in 2011, and Craig Wally, who's here, I believe was in 2012. Anyway, I'm sorry I disrupted stuff, but I wanted to give credit to those
Hey,
people.
you know what? Yeah, thank you for that, Robert. Does anybody else have anything on that? On Melly and how awesome she is? I have something I want to show you guys. Melly and I go back to the minute I started LifeRing, and here's my verification to prove it. Okay. All right, I was told by UCSF that I had to prove that I was going to meetings. Okay, so I found this groovy little spot named LifeRing, uh, convened by this groovy guy named Byron, and it was love at first sight. I love this stuff. I hung out, and I got so many verifications. I'm well past the 6-month mark here. I guess I just really liked Melly because I carried on for a month, a year, and like 5 months. So I'm gonna actually send her a screenshot of that. That's my gift to her, and to show her that not only did she help me, she continues to help everyone at LifeRing. So those of us who, like a lot of us who came here and are giving back, I think has a lot to do with how much she gave to us. So, Robert.
Memory just came back to me. The Skype call that I had with her, she wasn't on live. It was a picture of her and a helmet. That's why I got the image. She was a motorcycle rider, but that's just, thank you, Melly.
Did it have horns? Was it a Viking helmet? That's kind of where I'm
No,
going.
no, just a regular motorcycle helmet. She's being anonymous, and I just remember that. I didn't even talk to her. I heard her voice, but she didn't have a live picture on. video or whatever on Skype. Anyway, that's old technology.
Thank you, Robert. Well, I just want to say, I greatly respect the fact that when I go to other people's meetings, how well that you represent what needs to be done to the people who need verifications. I say I was a verification baby, and your politeness with people who need this, also your ability to convey what needs to be done, online meeting conveners. You should be saluted for that. Really great job. And I know that you've helped to make this somewhat what I can only imagine is an unbearable task for Melly that much easier and that much more palatable. So thank you all so very, very much for that. And we are going to move on unless anybody else has anything. Awesome. And thank you, John, for bringing Melly to light. I really appreciate that.